So the question is, the mind often steps in and pulls us into whatever's going on. And this is a very, very common occurrence. I think each one of us probably has to just look back 5 minutes back, something happened that kind of thing is happening all the time, where before we know it, the mind has stepped in and said, I'm in charge here, and let me take a look here. Okay, it does its assessment, it does its analysis, and of course it's the de facto expert. It's like, my mind, it knows everything. It's like, it quickly says, okay, here's the 3 problems, here's how we're going to break it down, and of course the thing that happens, which you mentioned, is when we step into that mode of being, we actually, without realizing, we're stepping away from the bigger picture. We're stepping away from the heart. We're stepping away from the connection with light, typically. And this is a big common problem, I would say. It's like, everywhere. Number one, I would say, is this requires us to cultivate our consciousness. What I talk about sometimes is building the consciousness muscles. And this, just like we go for a workout, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, and we don't go to the gym when we're sick and say, I need to work out now. We got to work out when we're feeling pretty okay, we're feeling pretty good, and we need to exercise the cardiovascular system, we need to tone the muscles. All that has to happen when you are reasonably in good shape. And similarly, practices we talk about, such as Awakening Infinite Radiance, which is a core practice that I recommend, but really any type of meditative practice, every time we sit down and practice whatever technique, it's developing within us the ability to not get caught up in whatever's going on and not have the mind get all entangled within a matter of seconds. Because in meditation, actually, that's what happens. We sit down, we simplify our environment. So we close our eyes, we close our ears, we sit in a quiet place, and we have simplified the sensory data stream. We said, I'm going to turn this down. So now I'm sitting with just myself. So I'm sitting with my own mind, my own body, and my own consciousness. And whatever's going on is my own thing. And this gives us a great chance to see what is it that's floating around in my consciousness, and how can I relate to this in a way that I'm not getting entangled. So in other words, something comes up, typically I get entangled, and then I'm like, oops, let me pull myself back. And this happens again and again and again and again. That's perfectly fine. That's how meditation is supposed to be. It's not like you're failing in meditation. This is how it works. But the beauty is, every time you recognize some mind content, you notice it and you pull yourself back. This is like a rep, right? You just did a rep. If you keep doing reps, you're gonna develop those muscles. And the muscles don't go away after you stop the workout. They stay with you. Then you pick up the newspaper. Then you read about something. And there's any number of examples. You just have to pick any newspaper any day. There's an example. You get drawn to it. Well, now what happens is different. Because you see this data stream coming into your consciousness, and you're seeing your mind getting sucked into it, but boom, your consciousness muscles, which have had a workout, lots of times, they immediately are available for you to draw yourself out of that. So you start recognizing that this kind of meditation is going on 24 hours a day, actually. In fact, even when you sleep, by the way, it's going on. But clearly during the day, there's constant information. You check your email, check your text, check your Instagram. I mean, there's stuff. So these muscles allow us to not get caught up as much, and even when we get caught up, not for as long. So we may lose it for a few seconds or a few minutes, but we never lose it for hours and days, as maybe we used to years back. So this ability is huge, and that's why I would recommend developing a practice, which is absolutely critical. When you choose light, life becomes increasingly joyful, purposeful, and inspired. I invite you to join me to explore the realms of light, the infinite possibilities that light offers.